Okay, we are looking at the Temple of Baalbek. Started in the 1st century, this modern construction, 1st century BCE, so contemporary with the Herodian temple, contemporary with the earliest temple at Palmyra. The site was actually going back to certainly Iron Age, maybe even Bronze Age site. So like in Jerusalem you have earlier temples, the equivalent of probably Solomon's temple on site. And you can see in the background, as I pan, we have the coastal range, snow-capped. See if we can get that. Perhaps not. And we're surrounded actually by the city of Baalbek. Baalbek is a Hezbollah stronghold. We passed the mosques on the way in, which were filled with pictures of Khomeini and Nasrallah. And here, spanning over to the anti-Lebanon mountains, so you can see again maybe just snow-capped in the distance, and you can see the town. This is one of the major towns in the northern Bekaa Valley, in this incredibly fertile area, and that's where the temple is. There it is, Temple of Jupiter is the main tall one. That's all that's left, but a gigantic complex. Started in this current construction 1st century BCE, and going up until the 300s when the construction finished with the adoption of Christianity. Some of the pieces were converted into churches. Okay, we are in the main temple, the large temple at Baalbek. We're now looking out through the front, and I'm going to start panning. This is, as Professor Green said, a Semitic temple in Greco-Roman drag. And as we go down, we'll see the elements of the main temple. There's a small temple.
Okay, please.
Now looking towards the large temple, the Holy of Holies. Those columns in existence. We're now looking towards the Holy of Holies, which is larger than what Herod's would have been, but also built in the earlier. We see the side temples, the side courts of the temple, and there's one pool where you would have washed after the sacrifice in the altar. In front of us is the altar itself. We see the columns, I forget the names, one column on one side, one column on the other side, this one in red granite, the other in grey granite, and the other sacred pool. Again, the architecture, the layout here in surface is Greco-Roman, but in design and sacred space is a Semitic temple, which looks like what we would see if the temple, the Herodian temple at Jerusalem still existed, and if the temple of Baal at Palmyra that we saw still existed, and forms a continuum with the design of the temple at Ein Dara. This monumental architecture, and a small temple of, small, not so small, of Adonis.